Hey y'all, it's Anna B, and welcome to the Social Health Initiative. This is episode 1, Get Started, and so today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 habits, 5 good habits at that, to make sure that you can get yourself started on the right direction and breaking free from all of those bad social media habits. These habits that I'm going to share with you today will help you bring your screen time way down, help you feel better about yourself, help you spend less time on those social platforms, and above that, also just improve how you're interacting with people online and how you're using your social platforms for good in your life. So I'm excited to get this episode started. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first habit I'm going to be sharing with you today is please utilize those self-timers that you can set on the phone. And I don't mean as in like go into your clock and set a timer when you go into your social media apps. Simply just set up the Apple or the Instagram, TikTok timers that they have set up on those platforms now. I'll show you in just a minute how to do that, at least on the iPhones and on Instagram. I know that TikTok is implementing stuff soon, and I'm not sure if Snapchat actually has anything like this, but that's when you can utilize the Apple. Basically, what it does is when you've been on an app for a certain amount of time, it'll pop up and say you've met your time limit for today, and it'll tell you to exit out, or you can, say give me 1 more minute or give me 15 more minutes. But that's kind of where we're going to kind of have to work on that self-actualization and really holding yourself accountable for saying, yep, you know what, it is time to exit out of the app. I'm going to go ahead and show you an easy way to get these timers set up on Apple and on Instagram. And if you want to implement this on any of your other apps, I guess just see if that's out there. These are the 2 that I know of for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that.
Okay, so in settings, you're gonna find screen time and then click the turn on screen time, hit continue, and then it'll pop up and ask whether it's your phone or your child's. Probably pick this as my phone. Then it's gonna take you to this main page here. That's basically just your screen time page. It'll say downtime and have the communication limits and stuff, but we're gonna go ahead and click on app limits, and that'll bring you to this kind of page here where we're going to click on the TikTok, Instagram, and 2 more that it looks like it has automatically set. Even if you don't have these apps, they'll still pop up, so if you ever do download them, it'll automatically go ahead and block them. But there's a bunch of different categories to pick from. You can choose to block it on all apps or just a few. I'll go ahead and add Facebook and Messenger to my list here. But then once you have that done, you're pretty much all set up to go. Just click the little ad in the top corner, and then you can edit the time limit that you have set as well. I like to have mine at 15 minutes. I think that's just a reasonable time for me, but you can obviously customize that. And you also can customize the times on the different days. So say you want to allow yourself more time on your socials on Saturdays versus a Monday per se, just for schoolwork and things like that. So that's how you set that up, and then you can basically just exit out and it should be all set up for you. Alrighty, so here on Instagram, I'm going to go ahead and click on your activity that's under the 3 bars up in the corner. Then I'm going to click on time spent on this page, and then it will take you to the main time spent page where it shows your daily average. Click on set reminders, and I like to have mine up for every 10 minutes. But you can obviously choose whatever you want, and then we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Then it'll go to the set daily time limit page that you want to open, and you can pick whatever time you want for this as well. I like to have mine at that 30 minutes, but that is all you have to do to set up these reminders on Instagram.
Okay, so hopefully that was helpful, and if you haven't done these things already, I really encourage you to do so. They have really been something that have helped me a lot, and I really just think that they can really help anyone just kind of realize like, wow, I have already been on my phone for a half hour, or whatever you choose to set those time limits for yourself. The second habit that I'm going to be sharing with you today is to really just filter through who you're following consistently. I'm someone who used to follow like 500 plus people on Instagram, and I really just realized that that was not a good use of my time, scrolling through these 500 plus people's posts and clicking through all of their stories. I'm now down to around 40 or 50 people on average, and I have found this to severely save the amount of time that I'm spending on these platforms. All you have to do is set a reminder for yourself every Saturday to go through and unfollow like 5 to 10 people. When you're doing this, I'm not telling you need to unfollow your closest friends or random friends from school or anything like that. I want you to focus on the celebrities, the influencers, the random pages, the meme pages. When you look at your following, when you get it down to a number that you feel comfortable with, you really should be able to go through and be able to tell yourself exactly why you're following each of the accounts you are following. By doing this, you're just cleaning up your page and you're just making it easier and less stressful, and there's less stimulus for you when you're scrolling through these pages. It just will overall help you. And like I said, I'm not telling you to unfollow everyone all at once. Set a reminder for yourself every Saturday or every week or so to just go through and pick 5 to 10 accounts to unfollow. With this, I also want to encourage you to do this on Snapchat as well. There's some people that I know who their Snapchat, you could just scroll forever with all of the people they have added, and that just, it stresses me out, and I'm supposing it probably will stress you out too if you're also this way. Just go through and unadd all those people that you never talk to. A good rule of thumb for that is if you haven't sent a snap to them in like 1 or 2 weeks, just unadd them. The likelihood is they probably won't even notice, and it will be better for you in the long run. And trust me, in the long run, no one cares. Instagram is great for keeping in touch with people, but if you're not utilizing it to actually do that, then it's not really worth following them anymore. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that it doesn't sound like I'm telling you to like unfollow everyone, because that's not at all what I mean. So just take the time to really go through and really think about why you're following everyone you're following, and see if you can just get that number down a little bit. Not everyone has to only be following 50 people. That's just a rule that I like to follow for myself, is to keep it under that number or generally around. But if you're someone who currently follows hundreds or thousands, like I mentioned, just try that 5 to 10 every day and see where it takes you. Okay, so the third habit that I have to share with you is actually pretty simple and self-explanatory. Avoid the explore pages at all cost. I'm talking TikTok for you, the Instagram explore, even Snapchat explore pages, Facebook, all of that. Just avoid it. That's where the algorithms and the addictiveness really comes in, is when you click on that Reels page and you're just kind of scrolling, looking at stuff forever. I know that's where we find the funniest memes and the coolest stuff, but if you really want to save yourself time and really just use that time for better things, just try and avoid the explore pages, because that's what really gets you sucked in, and that's just something that we want to try to avoid. If you're really someone who loves to see that new content and things like that, and that's something that you think you're gonna miss, I really encourage you, and this kind of goes along with the last habit as well, with the unfollowing people, make a list in your phone of the meme pages and celebrities and things like that that you really do want to keep tabs on, and just make a list in your phone in your notes pages or something like that about those accounts. So if you get some downtime sometime, you're like, I'm gonna go see what some of my favorite pages are up to. So that way you have that list, but you don't actually have to be following them, so they're not just popping up on the daily. You can like choose a time, like, oh, I'm gonna go look at funny memes. This is my favorite meme page. Let's take some time to do that. So that just kind of separates it, but also lets you still be able to keep tabs on what you want to keep tabs on. This is something that I do personally, and I think it's a really great utilization of time, because when you do have downtime and you want to just use social media for fun, it's really helpful to have that list to help keep me guided on what exactly I want to look at versus relying on algorithms and all that kind of stuff on those explore pages. So I find that to be super helpful. Habit number 4 that I have to share with you today is kind of pretty self-explanatory as well, and that is to just remove the app, just delete it. And now this can look like a lot of different things. If you're someone who just really wants to go for it and quit cold turkey, just delete Instagram, just delete your Snapchat, like just try it out and see how long you can last. I think that's probably something that not a lot of people will choose to do, but I've done it a few times. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just spending too much time on this. I'm just going to delete it. And I find that to actually be super helpful and be the best way to truly cleanse yourself. Something that I found super useful that I utilize a lot is setting reminders in my phone for the weekend, or vice versa, like for the week, to delete your app. Just delete Snapchat over the weekend, or delete your Instagram during the weeks, just to keep you off of that app. And then you can re-download it when the weekend comes. And that can seem like a lot of work, but it actually is super helpful, because that really is the best way to keep you off of those apps, is just to delete it from your phone altogether. Another way you can go about doing this is on Apple, they have this thing where you can just delete it from your home screen. So they have an app library and then the apps on your home screen. So you can just delete something from your home screen and it won't be completely deleted from your phone. It'll still just be on that app library, but that way it doesn't become like muscle memory where your Instagram is. So when you turn on your phone, you just go ahead and tap on it right away. It's in your app library, so it'll always kind of be in a different spot, but it's not in your immediate home pages. So your brain isn't immediately like, oh, Instagram, I need to click on that. That's just another way to kind of separate that and really just keep it out of your mind and out of sight. I'm not sure Android or Google Pixel or anything like that, how that works, but I know for a fact that's what Apple does. So if you have an Apple iPhone, that's a good way to kind of go about that separation as well. If you're someone who's planning on just quitting cold turkey, I do have one tip to share with you, and that is just delete it when you want to delete it. And then say you go on a family vacation, or you are in a show or something like that and you want to share pictures, you go to a concert, whatever it is that you do, and you just really want to post something, re-download it, post it, and then delete it immediately. And then it's up and it's added to your personal scrapbook. If you're doing that kind of technique where you delete it fully and then you just re-download it to post, then people are really never going to know that you are taking breaks, because it'll seem, like you post a bit, but in between that, you're really taking complete breaks from it. So that can be something really grateful to utilize as well. Overall, for habit number 4, just bite the bullet and just delete it. I really encourage you to. And that's going to look different for everyone. And it's probably something that's a little bit further down the road of what you want to try to do after you kind of work to implement those 1 through 3s. But number 4 really is the most effective way to just break those habits, is just to delete it, remove it from your mind completely, and just see how long you can go. The 5th and final habit that I'm going to share with you guys today is to start practicing your mindful sharing. And what I mean by this is stop posting selfies just because, stop posting this and that just because. Just really be mindful about what you're sharing. Think about how it might affect others. Think about whether it's necessary. A good rule of thumb that I like to follow is if I take a selfie or a picture or something like that that doesn't really have to do with anything, like it wasn't from a trip or from something fun that I did, it was just a picture, I like to kind of wait 2 or 3 days and see, does this still necessary? Do I still feel like I need to post this? And a lot of times I end up being no. I haven't really posted a selfie that hasn't had some meaning behind it or been from some trip that I was on in a few years now, I think. I mean, you guys could scroll on my Instagram and check that out and see. But I know that it's been a while, just because I kind of started doing this thing where I would take a selfie and I'd be like, ooh, I love this selfie, this is great. And then I'd wait 2 or 3 days and I'd be like, I really don't think I need to post this selfie. I mean, people already know what I look like, right? And I just kind of lost that, excitement to post it once I kind of waited. So I think that that's something good to follow, is if you take a picture or something that you immediately want to post, just give it 2 or 3 days if it doesn't really have any meaning behind it, and then wait and see. And if you do decide to post that selfie or that Instagram picture that you went out and took with your friends, try and find a caption or something that's going to be meaningful, that people are actually going to want to read and be like, oh, that's really cool, because that's really what's going to be bringing people to your page in a healthy way, versus like seeing a perfect selfie of you and then it being captioned like, hi guys, then people are going to be like, it just comes off a little shallow. And I think that if you're going to be posting those things, really just try to be mindful about it and really try to make it have some purpose. I'm not saying don't post whatever you want, because I really do think that it is all about creative freedom and all of that, but just being mindful about what you're sharing, thinking if that's really the image that you want to give off, thinking about those captions, making them meaningful. Instagram really is just a creative outlet and your own little personal scrapbook to let others know what you've been up to. So that's where I think the value comes in. What I'm really trying to encourage you to stay away from is posting those little things that don't really have any meaning. I really hope that makes sense, and if you have any questions about any of these 5 tips that I shared with you, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you and chat with you. Please feel free to follow the Social Health Initiative on Instagram, as well as my personal account on Instagram, if you really kind of want to see these things put into use and being modeled, and just get further tips as well. I really appreciate you guys watching and making it all the way to this point. And if you did, comment 5 so that I know that you guys made it to this point and are going to be working to implement all 5 of these habits that I've taught you guys today. If you guys have any ideas of episodes that you want to see, any stories you want me to tell in particular about my own social media experience, make sure you also comment those as well, or you can message me on those Instagram platforms, and we'll see if we can get it into the episode lineup. Overall, I'm just super excited to finally be breaking into this, and I'm excited to see where the Social Health Initiative can help to bring you in your own personal social media journey. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.